people say I talk too much, but I can't help it. I love words.
I like to read them.
Write them.
Play with them.
That's how we ended up on the staff of Wordsworth, a literary magazine made by and for kids.
Our publisher, Mrs. Gramercy, sends us great material from kids all over the country.
We editors have tough choices to make, so it helps to know the basics.
And basically, that means grammar, the set of rules that explains how we use language.
Grammar is what makes words work. Along with stories and poems, we always get lots of letters at Wordsworth. Some of them are really great writing assignments that kids have done at school. Some tell us how kids feel about the magazine. And sometimes they make us think about grammar in a whole new way.
Sam, you better take a look at this one.
Thanks, Lucy. June 11, 2002, dear. Wordsworth team in the office. I have left something fun for you. Need some commas, periods, and exclamation points to sort out this clue why you might. Ask well once you have all the pieces you will understand. Look all around the world good. Luck. Sincerely an admirer. I can't make heads or tails out of this one. How about you, Dylan?
I can't tell when one thought ends and the other one begins.
And what does it mean, fun for you? Who's you?
I think it means you and you.
How do you know it doesn't mean you and you, Aaron?
Things were getting more confusing by the moment. Fortunately, just when we were ready to return that letter to sender...
Wordsworth, the magazine that makes words work. Sam speaking.
Hello, wordsmiths.
Hello, Mrs. Gramercy. Hold on while I put you on video phone.
It was our magazine's founder and publisher. Sam told her about the mystery message. As usual, she was ready to point us in the right direction.
You need the road signs of grammar. Punctuation, things like periods and commas, exclamation points, and quotation marks. Without punctuation, words get confused, like cars in a busy intersection without a traffic light. The reader doesn't know when to stop or go, whether to pause or plow right through.
That sounded dangerous. We decided we'd better find out more about controlling word traffic. We begin by looking for stop signs, periods, question marks, and exclamation points. The kind of punctuation that ends a sentence.
You can tell a lot about a sentence by the kind of punctuation at its end. Those stop signs help you identify the 4 different kinds of sentences.
4?
Yes, 4. And the first one is the statement.
A statement tells you something.
It's raining outside.
A statement ends with a period.
What about the question?
A question asks something.
Is it raining outside?
A question ends with a question mark.
Don't forget the command.
A command tells you to do or be something.
Be careful. Open the umbrella slowly.
A command can end with a period or an exclamation point.
And last, but not least, is my favorite, the exclamation.
An exclamation shows a strong feeling.
Hooray! It's raining outside.
An exclamation always ends with an exclamation point. Nicholas has packed this letter with punctuation. He wrote it to his friend, Chris. They're both in Mrs. Urbanowski's class in San Antonio, Texas.
Dear Chris, isn't it good when you can just hang out with your friends? That's what I like about our friendship. Remember when we had a glow stick fight? Mine got stuck in the tree, but Dad got it down. It was cool to see the green light flashing across the yard. I hope to be climbing the rocks in front of your house soon. Stay cool. Your pal, Nicholas.
Okay, can you find a statement in there?
Well, a statement ends in a period, right? And there's only one sentence like that in here. Mine got stuck in a tree, but Dad got it down.
Yup, that's a statement, all right. It's a telling sentence that ends with the right stop sign, a period.
Do you see a question in this letter?
Sure, here's one right in the beginning. Isn't it good when you can just hang out with your friends?
Questions are easy to spot. They're the only sentences that end with a question mark.
How about giving me a command?
Stand on your head.
I meant one from Nicholas's letter.
Oh, right. Commands are a little tougher to spot. They can end with periods or exclamation points, just like statements and exclamations. But I think this sentence will do. Stay cool.
Very commanding. It's telling someone to do or be something, and it ends with one of the two correct stop signs, an exclamation point.
And speaking of exclamation points, can you find an exclamation in this letter?
Uh-huh. That's what I like about our friendship. Nicholas shows how strongly he feels by ending the sentence with an exclamation point.
Excellent. You found all the stop signs for sentences, periods, question marks, and exclamation points. Great teamwork.
That's what I like about our friendship.
Wordsmiths, take care. Not all road signs are found at the end of a sentence. You see them a lot at the beginning and inside a sentence, too. Some kinds of road signs, like capital letters, are a green light. They're the signal that lets you know a new sentence is starting. And some, like commas and quotation marks, set off special areas within a sentence. They guide you so you don't get lost along the way.
Sam thought we should tackle the capital letters first.
'Cause how does a sentence get going? With a capital letter. That's how. After we find out where each sentence ends, we'll need to make sure the next sentence begins with a capital letter.
Beginning a sentence with capitals is a good start, but you could find capital letters in other places too. For instance, every time you write the word I, you're supposed to capitalize it. The same goes for proper names. Those are words like Chris or Nicholas and the days of the week. The names of particular places get capitalized too.
Nicholas is from Texas, with a capital T.
And of course, you always capitalize a title of respect. Words like doctor or Mrs., as in Mrs. Gramercy.
Don't forget, capitalization isn't the only road sign you can find in the middle of a sentence. Mrs. Gramercy said there are plenty more, like commas and quotation marks. A quotation is something that somebody says, and quotation marks let you show somebody is speaking when you're writing a sentence.
Big blue balloons burst with a boom.
What did she say?
She said big blue balloons burst with a boom.
Notice that even though big isn't the first word in the sentence anymore, it's still capitalized. That's because it's a quotation, and quotations usually start with a capital letter.
To set what Lucy says apart, we put quotation marks around her words. To make that separation crystal clear, we also stick a comma between Dylan's words.
She said
And Lucy's,
big blue balloons burst with a boom.
You can say that again.
check out all the quotations in this story by Caitlin. She's in Mr. Von Euler's class in Westport, Connecticut.
Rap, rap, rap. Someone was knocking on the door. Coming, I yelled. I ran downstairs and turned the lock. I pulled the door open. The sunlight poured in. Lisa, I screeched. I pulled her into a hug. Her blue eyes twinkled. We were both happy to see each other. My mom padded down the stairs. Hello, she said to Lisa's mom. Come on, let's go play while they talk, I whispered to Lisa. Take a look at this sentence. Lisa, I screeched.
The part within quotation marks shows us exactly what was said.
Lisa!
The part outside the quotation marks tells us who said it and how.
I screeched.
There's an exclamation point at the end of the quotation.
You can have question marks inside the quotation marks, too.
So you could also write, Lisa, I screeched.
Yup. And sometimes you can have commas inside the quotation marks, like...
Coming, I yelled.
The quotation starts with a capital letter and ends with a comma. The comma separates the speaker's words from the rest of the sentence.
Let us pause to recognize the comma. It's really one of my favorite elements of grammar. I call it the separator. Not only can a comma separate a quotation from the rest of a sentence, it's also superb at separating items on a list, like a shopping list. Let's see. We've got some ice cream jelly, rolls, and eggs.
Ice cream and jelly rolls. Oh, boy.
Not ice cream, ice and cream. And not jelly rolls, jelly and rolls. To make the list clear, we simply insert a comma between each item and voila! We have ice, cream, jelly, rolls, and eggs.
Who's better before?
You don't like so much separation? In a list, it is perfectly acceptable to take out the comma before the word and. But beware, sometimes an extra comma can make all the difference in the world. Let's see. Shall we take out some crackers, macaroni, and cheese? Or shall I leave out the final comma and have macaroni and cheese?
Macaroni and cheese, please.
The main thing is to use the commas the same way for every list within a single document. Be consistent. Don't put a comma before the and one time and then leave it out the next. Consistency is the secret to success with punctuation.
We all felt we were getting close to cracking the code of the mystery message. But as we searched for more clues, Sam realized we'd only scratched the surface of the all-purpose comma.
I found tons of them in this letter from Alexis. She lives in Bronxville, New York.
January 7th, 2002. Christina Smith, Chicago, Illinois. Dear Christina, today I got a dog. He needs love, care, and attention. His name is Marcello. Marcello needs to be walked, fed, and he needs plenty of sleep like real babies. I never knew puppies were so much like babies. When Marcello is older, I'll teach him how to sit, roll over, and jump through a hoop. I hope you will meet him soon. Your friend, Alexis.
See, here's a comma in the date. It's always placed between the day and the year. January 7th, comma 2002.
Commas separate the names of a town or city from states, too. Alexis has written to a friend who lives in Chicago, comma, Illinois.
When you're speaking to someone directly, you put a comma after his or her name.
So when Alexis teaches Marcello the dog to jump through a hoop, she'll probably say, Marcello, jump. We write it, Marcello, comma, jump.
Here's another way to use a comma.
Well, I hope you will meet him soon.
When a word like well, or yes, or no begins a sentence, you usually put a comma after it.
Do I get a treat? No, you don't. Down, boy.
Our mystery message started out like Alexis's. It had a date and the word dear. We decided we'd better take a closer look at how letters go together, because they have some pretty special punctuation rules.
When you write a letter, you should always put the date in the upper right-hand corner of your paper. Many people write their own address under the date. And in a very important letter, you can also put the name and address of the person to whom you're writing below your address at the left-hand margin. Together, the date and addresses are called the heading.
In a friendly letter, like when you'd write to a best buddy or a cousin, you don't really have to do the address part.
Right. Punctuation can change depending on what you're writing, why you're writing, and who you're writing.
Hey, how come Sam wrote OCT Pier instead of October? Or CA instead of California? Maybe he doesn't know how to spell those words.
And maybe I know something you don't. Those letters are shortened versions of the whole word. They're known as abbreviations. It's perfectly okay to use them as long as you follow the punctuation rules.
Usually abbreviations end with a period, like OCT period for October and ST period for street.
but not abbreviations for states and countries. They're simply written in all capital letters with no periods, like CA for California or UK for the United Kingdom.
Abbreviations are also often used for titles before people's names, like DR period for doctor.
Wow, there's a lot to learn about abbreviations. We'd better get sewing on this story right away.
Wordsworth investigative reporter downtown Aaron Noun here, getting the long and the short of the story on Mr. Abbreviation himself, Mr. Mister.
That's Mr. to you.
Oh yeah, you got rid of all those pesky in-between letters and shortened Mister to just capital M and small r.
Capital M, small r, period.
Period, right. Now, Mr. Mister, I understand that your wife has not been well.
You mean capital M-R-S, period?
Yes, Mrs. I heard she's been to see the doctor.
She did see him, but she was just being neighborly. You see, the capital D-R period lives right next door to us on Bacon, capital S-T period.
Ah, the doctor lives on your street. So it was a brief trip.
An abbreviated trip.
Well, I hate to cut you short, Mr. Mister. We gotta go. This is downtown Aranown in the good old all capitals USA. And now back to the Wordsworth team.
One of the most important parts of a letter is the greeting. That's the dear so-and-so part, where you greet the person you're writing.
Dear Lucy.
The greeting is a good example of how punctuation changes depending on the type of letter you're writing. Usually you follow that greeting with a comma, but sometimes if you're writing an official letter, you follow the greeting with a colon.
Huh, this shows how official I am.
In a really informal letter, say a friendly email, many people skip the dear in their greeting altogether.
Lucy.
They may even use dots or dashes instead of a comma.
Shocking.
We were very close to deciphering the mystery message, but something still seemed to be missing.
Look all around the world. I wonder.
Luckily, just then,
Wordsworth, the magazine that makes words work. Sam speaking.
it was Mrs. Gramercy again. She said there's much more to a letter than a heading and greeting. We still needed to identify the body, closing, and the signature.
Take a look at Christopher's letter to Fire Chief Cassidy. It demonstrates very nicely how a letter goes together.
Here it is, December 3rd, 2001, Holliston, Massachusetts.
The heading.
Dear Fire Chief Cassidy.
And the greeting.
Guys,
Not now, Dylan. We're coming up to the main part, or body of the letter. The body has all the good stuff, like, how are you? I'm fine. The meat of the letter.
I think you're a hero because you help people and save lives and property. You are very brave and dedicated. I feel safe knowing you'll be there if I need help. I would like to be a firefighter when I grow up. I love the job, and you're a great role model for me. Thank you for being a great chief. Sincerely,
Sounds like the end of the letter, otherwise known as a closing.
Yep, and it's followed by the signature, Christopher. Signature is a fancy way of saying the way you sign your name.
To create the perfect letter, you must keep the different parts in their own proper places. Oh, I just hate it when things get all mixed up. As you know, the heading goes in the right-hand corner of the page, while the greeting sits on the left-hand margin. Now, skip 2 lines. You're ready to begin the body of your letter. For each new idea, make a new paragraph, and indent the first line of each paragraph 5 spaces. When you've said all there is to say, skip 2 more lines and write your closing in the middle of the page. Your friend, yours truly, sincerely. Those are all lovely closings. Use one that's appropriate for the person to whom you are writing. Whatever you choose, capitalize the first word and put a comma after the last. Finally, right under the closing, sign your name in your very best penmanship.
Guys? Hey guys! I found what's missing from the mystery letter. I looked all around the world. Well, under the globe actually. And bingo! Just what we need.
The envelope was full of commas and periods, quotation marks, and capital letters. Everything necessary to make the mystery message work. We got busy on it right away. Now that we knew how to use the road signs of grammar, it wasn't really that hard.
We need a capital letter here. Thank you.
Somebody forgot to put an end quotation mark here.
Oops.
Now just put a comma after sincerely, and that's it. It reads, June 11, 2002. Dear Wordsworth team, in the office, I have left something fun for you. Need some commas, periods, and exclamation points to sort out this clue? Why, you might ask? Well, once you have all the pieces, you will understand. Look all around the world good. Luck sincerely, an admirer.
It still seemed a little off. But being editors at a famous magazine, we were not discouraged. We knew the secret to getting it right was simple enough. Proofreading. That's when you check for mistakes like spelling errors, misplaced commas, and capitalization. It just takes careful rereading, and it usually helps to have a new pair of eyes. Sam had done most of the work the first time around, so we had Lucy proofread the mystery message a few more times.
We need a stop sign after the first U.
I have left something fun for you.
That's a statement, so end it with a period.
Then we'll need to capitalize the second U.
You need some commas, periods, and exclamation points to sort out this clue.
That makes more sense. Now we can get rid of this question mark and put in a period. Let's see. We also forgot to capitalize luck. And don't you think good belongs to luck?
So capitalize the G and put an exclamation point after the word luck, because I think good luck sounds like an exclamation.
That was it for sure. Now the body of the letter read, In the office, I have left something fun for you. You need some commas, periods, and exclamation points to sort out this clue. Why, you might ask? Well, once you have all the pieces, you will understand. Look all around the world. Good luck.
Sincerely, an admirer. Ooh, we solved the puzzle, but not the bigger mystery.
What's that?
The signature, of course. Who is our admirer?
Maybe this will help.
I guess so. You could say it blew the whole mystery wide open. In the envelope was a signature. And not just any signature. It belonged to the publisher we all admired most, Mrs. Gramercy. She'd said once we had all the pieces, we would understand. And now we really do.
We understand all about the punctuation that ends a sentence. Periods, question marks, and exclamation points.
And the punctuation inside a sentence, like quotation marks and commas.
And don't forget the big and the short, capitalization and abbreviation.
And best of all, we learned how to say thank you in the best possible way. Punctuation, the grammar road signs that make words work.
Wordsworth, get your copy of Wordsworth. Fresh off the press. Wordsworth, get it down.